To Marshall and Paul with the call.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Welcome to the booth here at Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipse. Marshall Sutcliffe with Paul Cheon. And it's time for draft. We don't need to say much more than that, do we, Paul? We're going to sit down and crack some packs and see what we get. We saw yesterday that the pods are tough. Take a look at the one here. I mean, yesterday they were randomly assigned, and today they're based on your record. So the pods are extremely difficult at this point. But our feature drafter, Marco Belacca at the top, 64% limited win rate last season. Very respectable, and definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to limited.
Yeah, I mean, seems like he knows what he's doing with all formats, as he didn't even drop a game in standard as well here. So going to be really interesting to see kind of his approach to this limited format.
There's another Marco. That's Marco Camiluzzi there. Marco Belacca's countryman. A great showing for the Italians yesterday.
Yeah, they are absolutely destroying the competition here. 3 Italians here in the first pod. Marco Belacca, of course, being the undefeated player.
Drafters, welcome to Draft 2 of Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipse.
You can see our draft judge, Paul, here.
You have 3 packs in front of you. Please pick up the pack labeled 2A, remove the wrapper, count 4.
He's giving our players
Drafters,
their directions
welcome to Draft
on how
2
to
of
do
Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipse.
timed draft.
You have 3 packs in front of you. Please pick up
It's
the
a little
pack
different than
labeled
your draft at the
2A,
local
remove
draft
the
store
wrapper,
or if you play online.
Count 14 cards face down, noting that one of them will be flipped in reverse.
It's very procedural. This is meant so that there's none of those mistakes. If you've ever done a real life draft and you get to the end and somebody goes, hey, I have 3 cards still.
Right.
You know, that doesn't fly here at the Pro Tour level. With the type of prize money and accolades on the line, everything needs to be perfect. All right, pack one, pick one is underway here for Marco. What can he find? Hopefully one of the great bombs of the format.
Yeah, or perhaps a signpost uncommon here. We see an unexpected assistance, which is a solid common to go with the tweeze, but really want to take an uncommon or a rare. I see a protective response, which is a really good versatile removal spell. It doesn't lock you into a color. You can go into Merfolk or Kithkin, or you can take one of the signpost uncommons in the Boggart Cursecrafter or the Thoughtweft Lieutenant. So a couple of options here. I think those are probably the 3 cards that you want to be considering here. I like the choice to take probably the protective response. It is a very good removal spell and just keeps you the most flexible.
And it's actually rare in this format that you have the luxury of taking a card that leaves 2 open lanes for you. Normally, you're more or less forced to make a decision early and try to kind of hang on for the ride. You have maybe partway through pack 1 to change your mind.
Right.
But this one does leave the door open for 2 different archetypes. Ooh, there's a Marrow Sky Swimmer. That one always catches my eye.
Yeah, there's a Marrow Sky Swimmer. There's also Lissalana Dignitary, which is a powerful uncommon if you decide to move into the elf color combination. And of course, then you would have to dismiss your first pick just because, you know, it's not going to be as good in a green-white color combination. But Sky Swimmer, again, kind of a flexible card, right? If you do end up in either a blue or a white deck, you're going to be pretty happy playing the card. You already started out with a protective response, so I think that's the safe pick to take out of this pack.
Yeah, Sky Swimmer's just fine in Kithkin. It's obviously the best in its own Merfolk home. So interestingly, we're 2 packs in, and while we're leaning towards Merfolk, Marco's open.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spiral into Solitude there.
Nameless Inversion. Ooh, Thoughtweft Lieutenant. So that could be something that perhaps puts you into the direction of taking a powerful green card here. Remember, the first 2 picks that Marco took puts him in either Merfolk or Kithkin, and Thoughtweft Lieutenant certainly one of the stronger uncommons that you can take, especially in the Kithkin archetype. So I feel like that's the pick with the most upside. You can be safe here with Spiral into Solitude, but Spiral into Solitude is not kind of in that same power band as something like a protective response. So I do like the pick here. Speculate. You got a 3rd pick, really powerful uncommon, and see if Kithkin is available.
Yeah, you do have to commit to something at some point here. You can't take the safe route the whole time. So that's what Marco's going to do. He's going to take Thoughtweft Lieutenant and see where that leads them.
Yeah, and now I'm looking at Alyssa Lana Informant, now of course in Kithkin, it doesn't have creature type Kithkin, but it is still just a solid 2-mana play here. But I think, in a Kithkin deck, it's a little more replaceable. You could look at something like an Unexpected Assistance here. If you take the Assistance, you have the option of potentially pivoting into a Merfolk deck as well.
Yeah, that would leave that Thought Weft Lieutenant out in the cold, but you do what you got to do.
Right.
These decks are very streamlined, and they reward you for having critical mass of specific creature types, so you don't really get to splash around.
Ooh, a Doran Besieged by Time. It's
Yeah.
kind of a tricky one to play. It is very powerful if you can pull it off. Another Spiral into Solitude. Also an Assert Perfection in the pack. So we now have kind of a decision to make here, right? Because we have a couple of white cards. We have a green and a blue card. Do you want to move into Merfolk here, take something like a Meander's Guide? Or do you take the Assert Perfection and try to go Selesnya?
It's going to be the Meander's Guide. So this, to me, is really starting to say, okay, that Thought Weft Lieutenant is starting to get left behind, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, Assert Perfection is, I believe, Green's best common, so that could, to me, might be more of a sign. Meander's Guide looks like it's an amazing Merfolk payoff. I found it to just be okay, because it's not a tap effect. It has to attack.
It must attack, and then you also have to tap another creature. It
5
usually
seconds.
just happens once. Flock Imposter, that is another one of those solid, it can go into either of these decks type of thing, but
Shuffle and pass 8 cards.
man,
to
I'm
the left.
seeing some of these elves coming around too.
Right.
I know, it's kind of the best deck in the format, and so those cards stand
Pick up the
out,
pack.
but
You
another
have 20
dignitary this late, I
Right, yeah.
wonder
I
if
mean,
that's the...
Certainly. I understand the hesitance to move into Elves just because you took a bunch of white cards, and also Elves is probably the archetype that a lot of players are going to be going for here. So I kind of
5
get maybe trying to
seconds.
avoid it here. This is a late pummeler for hire.
Yeah.
Could see still taking this card here and
Draft.
kind of trying to see if you can go into green-white.
Shuffle
But
and pass
no, I feel like
7
Marco at
cards
this
to
point
your
is just
left.
kind of committing to Merfolk. I feel like you have a little more flexibility, especially
Pick
when
up
it
the
comes to a
pack.
card
You have
of the
15
power level of
seconds.
Wanderwine Distractor. We did see Snake yesterday go 3-0, which is like a green-white go big deck. So that's certainly an option here. But looks like Marco really
5
preferring to go
seconds.
Merfolk over green-white.
Wanderbrine Preacher is going to follow it up. Much better card than the
Draft.
Distractor. I mean, honestly, the
6
Distractor
cards
to
to your
me
left.
is like I'm cutting Merfolk, but
Yeah.
there's a good chance it doesn't even make the deck.
Right, I mean, the
Pick up
thing
the
is,
pack.
look at the
You have
Merfolk
10
he's picked.
seconds.
It's not like he picked up an uncommon that's in blue or white, right? Outside of his first pick, it is not 100%
seconds.
clear that Merfolk is even open.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've seen just as many decent green
Draft.
cards
Ooh.
than I have white cards.
He took that over the Mischievous
Pass
Sneakling,
5
though, the
cards to
keep
your
out.
left.
Yeah, and I think I would have liked the Sneakling. I mean, it's just a nice versatile card. Also,
up the
Keep
pack.
Out
You have
is
10 seconds.
an okay card, but something that you're just not the happiest playing. But all right, here's a late Merfolk,
5 seconds.
Silver Guild Peddler. Not really something that you're going to be seeing in any deck outside of
Draft.
Merfolk. But part of what
Shuffle and pass
you
4
see in
cards
the
to your
most
left.
powerful Merfolk decks, oftentimes you end up
Pick
there
up the pack.
by starting out with
5
one of the
seconds.
lords, right? The uncommon lord, something along those lines. Right now, we're just kind of looking at a blue-white deck with
Draft.
one kind of really good uncommon in the
Lay out
protective
3 cards to
response,
your left.
and then just kind of a bunch of filler level
Pick up
blue
the
and white
pack.
cards.
Yeah, speaking
5
of, there's a Temporal Cleansing. Probably going to make the cut for him, but I would describe it similar to how you
Draft.
just did, Paul, with kind of a filler card. And then,
Pass
as you
2
can see,
cards
we're
to your
fully
left. Pick
winding
up the pack.
down
You have 5 seconds.
pack number 1 here.
I mean, certainly, that late temporal cleansing
away
is
together.
something that's quite good in the Merfolk
Pick up
deck,
the
as you
final
have a
card,
lot of
look at
cards
it.
that give you activated abilities when
1
they
minute.
become tapped. So just a nice little tempo card to pick up. So Marco has to be happy with that pickup here. But all in all, he's going to need some help here in pack number 2.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught that.
This one you have 60 seconds
Took a look at
to
his
review your
facial
picks,
expression
starting now.
there, and he kind of did the, the
Yeah.
back and forth kind of, well, I guess I have a deck forming here, but I'll have to say there's really nothing exciting here, right? There's no big pull in this pile that's like, well, at least I got this to build around, or that's just a standalone bomb. Nothing even close to that. That said, it's got a lot of playables.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
gonna have a
functional
deck.
deck with a bunch of playables. But I mean, compared to Seth Manfield's draft yesterday, very, very similar. But at least Seth had a Champions of the Perfect in that pool. Outside of that, I mean, both of the decks look kind of similar. Just a bunch of commons and a little bit of interaction. Marco, hopefully, he successfully cut off the Merfolk so he can get it in pack number 2.
Yeah, that would be his hope here, and he did sacrifice a few picks to take blue cards or merfolk just to try to cut that as much as possible and send those signals to the left
seconds
saying,
left.
I'm in this deck, leave me alone. But as we know, you're often at the mercy
Return
of
your
the
cards
packs
to a
themselves.
single
Even if
down
you
pile
find
in front of
yourself in the quote correct colors for your
Pick up the
seat,
pack
it
labeled
doesn't mean that
2B,
people are going to
remove the
open up
wrapper.
all the great cards
Yeah.
and that type of thing. So let's take a look at what he's got out of his first 10 picks here. And you can see, you know, honestly, those first 2 cards in the upper left are the only ones that I'm like, okay, you know, I really like a Sky Swimmer and Protective Response is solid, but even those aren't exciting.
Yeah, I mean, just again, I mean, Thoughtwef Lieutenant is the most powerful card. I mean, there's still a world where I guess you could still pivot and go into a green-white deck if you do open a green bomb here. But this draft certainly could have gone a little better for Belacca.
Let's take a look at what he may want to pick up here. You know, if you're thinking about the commons for this deck, more Marrow Sky Swimmers, the more the merrier. They work well with each other, and you definitely want them. Of course, Wanderbrine Preacher, just a solid 2-drop for the deck. And then, you know, maybe another unexpected assistance or something.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing with the Merfolk deck is you want to play to the board and then convoke out some of these top-end cards here, and those 2 are the best at common.
As for uncommons, there's some spicy stuff here. The Eclipse Marrow, anything that says Eclipsed on it in your creature type is exciting, but Deep Channel Duelist, really nice. And look at this, 2 Silvergill Mentors.
Hey, you know what? He would take both, honestly, if he had the opportunity, but he needs these uncommons here. This format is kind of defined by the powerful signpost uncommons, and right now, he doesn't have any.
As for rares, nice. Champions of the Shoal, Sig. And you know what? Even though Kin Binding isn't technically a Merfolk card, it wins a lot.
It's one of the best rares in the entire format here. It doesn't matter that it creates a Kithkin. You want to be aggressive, and all of a sudden, Kin Binding has the ability to just close out games.
Yeah, so he's going to have to decide very early here whether this is exactly where he wants to be. It feels like he's kind of committed to Merfolk at this point. Let's see how the rest of the draft goes as we work our way into pack number 2
Put
here.
the wrapper on the edge of the table for us.
This is the pick where you just hope to get lucky, right?
just-
Just
As
a
a
kin
reminder,
binding
when
or
you
something
draft
where
this
it's just,
pack,
you had no
please
control
place
over
the
it
card
and the
directly on
magic
top
gods
of
blessed
your
you.
Right, or
already
just a
chosen
Deep Channel
cards.
Duelist even,
Do
an
not be
Eclipse
a
Marrow,
group
just
of
any of
5.
those cards. Now, Marco did pass a fair number of Spiral into Solitudes. There is a chance maybe the person that he's passing to did take those removal spells. I don't know, maybe there's a world the person he's passing to is potentially in Kithkin. Could maybe get cut off a little bit there.
Switching cards.
We saw yesterday that Seth did a really good job of cutting off black and red. He was trying hard to do so, and he got hooked up.
Yeah.
Black and green, sorry,
Right.
in the second pack, and we'll see here if that pays off for Marco, because he did the same thing. He was trying.
We are ready to begin. Pick up the pack. You have 40 seconds.
All right, pack 2, pick
we go.
1. What do we got?
Nope. Spiral into Solitude, I suppose.
There's your backup plan. Thoughtweft Imbuer, but that's really a Kithkin only card. And a Gloom Ripper!
Oh, man.
Oh, one of the best rares in the set, but it doesn't go into his deck at all.
Yeah, and there's just no way you can take the card because it just, you know, it's only really good in Elves. You can still play it, of course, if you're a black deck and you have some Changelings, but there's just no way you can really pivot into something like that. It's really not worth it here. I feel like Spiral into Solitude is kind of the disappointing first pick here
5
for Marco
seconds.
Belacca.
Especially, you know, seeing the Imbuer, you know, that is such a good on-color
Draft.
uncommon, but it is really just a
Shuffle and lay out
Kithkin card.
13
Right.
cards to your right.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, honestly, Spiral into Solitude is on the lowest end
Pick
of
up the
things
pack.
that you would hope
You
to. I
have
mean,
35
no
seconds.
uncommons. The rare wasn't for you.
All right, well, maybe he gets something in this pack, okay? An Unwelcome Sprite,
Right.
solid 2-mana play, not a Merfolk. And wow, there is just, I mean, this is just a pack that didn't have any blue or white cards in it, right? That you'd be interested in taking. It looks like a rare is missing from the pack here. So yeah, I mean, this was just another bad pack. Except for the person who took the rare, of course.
Right.
And yeah, I believe this Unwelcome Sprite is going to be the thing that Marco takes here. I mean, Unwelcome Sprite, to be fair, very good card, right? It's a 2-mana, 2/1 flyer.
seconds.
Evasion is very good in this format. And if you just get one trigger off of that, you get a lot of value.
Drafts. Shuffle and lay out 12 cards to your
Okay.
right.
Makes cards like Mischievous Sprightling better, Unexpected Assistance better. I
Pick
think
up
those
the
are the
pack.
types of instants you'd
You
be
have
looking to
30
play in this
seconds.
deck.
Yeah, he wishes he had that Sneakling now.
Yeah, he did. Okay.
Hey, there's a Sky Swimmer.
Now, Sky Swimmer is something you want
Ooh.
to probably get a little bit later.
Yeah, it's just going to be the Sky Swimmer here.
Yeah, it's just a Sky Swimmer. But yeah, again, these are totally fine, ordinary picks. But I feel like Marco needs a little more power here to really feel confident that he can get away with the draft with a 2-1 finish.
5
But the
seconds.
Sky Swimmer is one of the best commons for this archetype.
It is. That is a perfectly good pickup here, but
Drafts.
and you can't help but see the other
Shuffle
cards in the
and lay
pack
out
too.
11
You know, the
cards
Dawn Hand
to your right.
Eulogist, the
Right.
Grave Shifter going by.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I guess he didn't really pass a ton of elf cards himself,
Pick
so
up the pack.
the person to his
have
left
25
likely also
seconds.
not an elves.
Somebody's getting that Gloom Ripper, and
Oh yeah. There's another Grave Shifter.
and
Oh,
he's going to
man,
get a
this
Peddler
is
or
brutal.
a Glamourmite.
This is super rough here. I mean, we're talking about pick 4. You're going to have to take a Sun Dappled Celebrant or, all right, he's not going to take the Glister Baron, but
No,
5
or
seconds.
a Silver Gill Peddler.
Yeah,
That
Probably
is
just pick the
not
Peddler.
where you want to be. Those are the types of cards
Draft.
you're hoping to table,
Shuffle
and
lay
maybe
out
it makes it
10
into your deck.
cards to your right.
yeah. He's just going to take the Peddler. He'll probably wheel it, like you said, Paul. And plus, you want like, well, ideally 0, but at most 1 of the
Pick up
Celebrant.
the
Yeah,
You
you
have
you want
25
you want an
seconds.
uncommon of some kind here. Maybe
Please, an
something
uncommon,
else.
something.
Okay,
There's
another Celebrant. All right, and,
There's a
oh,
Mischievous
man.
Sneakling and a Rhyme Chill.
Yeah. There's
think
an
it's
Assert
just-
Perfection, so seeing a lot of elf cards here makes
Just
sense.
Probably go Sneakling here, right?
Yeah, Sneakling makes a lot of sense. He doesn't have a ton of 2-drops right now. It is a Merfolk, and it works well with that
5
Unwelcome
seconds.
Sprite that he
Yeah.
took second pick. So, and Sun Dappled Celebrants are kind of free.
Right. You don't
Draft.
really need to prioritize, especially that there's 2
Shuffle
of them.
and lay
Well,
out
he's going
9
to take it
cards
here.
to your right.
I mean, I
Alright.
get it. He's got a lot of cheap creatures that produce tokens, though, you know, that Celebrant's
Pick up
going to
the
come
pack.
down for
You have 20 seconds.
0 mana in some games.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. Okay.
Still, I think you could get it later. There's a Gravelgill Scoundrel.
Yeah, that's a solid card. There's a lot of Merfolk in the format that exist that give you advantages for tapping it down. Wanderbrine Preacher, of course, being one of them, but the Tributary Vaulter,
seconds.
also a nice little combination. So I imagine he's going to take the Gravelgill Scoundrel here.
Drafts.
Okay, so
Shuffle
those are the
and lay out
2-drops he
10
wants, right, at
cards to
common.
your right.
I feel like we've said the same thing for literally every pick of this draft, Paul. Like, all the cards, it's just
Pick
like,
up your
yeah,
pack.
that's fine.
You have 20
Right.
Okay,
seconds.
that's a checkbox playable, and just nothing has jumped out of the pack for him.
I mean, it's just all elves all the time here in pack number 2.
Right, Timid
And-
Shield Bearer here, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not the. I thought Thirst for Identity would play out much better, but I've been pretty underwhelmed by that card.
Same.
Kith Keeper's
5
a little
seconds.
expensive. I think you just want a 2-drop, so maybe just take a Timid Shield Bearer here.
Yeah, Kith
Drafts.
Keeper's cool but expensive. He's going to go for the thirst.
Sure.
That's fine.
I mean, if
Shuffle
you
and
want a
pass
card draw
7 cards
effect,
to your right.
especially if you have kind of a deck that's not perfect and you just need to kind of sift through and find your good cards. Although
up the
right
pack.
now,
You have
there aren't that
15
many good
seconds.
cards, but, you know, still have another pack. It's a late Dawn Hand Eulogist. Fantastic common for the elf strategy.
5
And
seconds.
nothing again for Marco Belacca here. There is a Wild Unraveling and an Appeal to Erdu.
Draft.
Both cards that you're not really happy playing
Shuffle
in
and
any
lay out
deck.
6 cards.
Not
to
appealing
your
at
right.
all. Huh.
This is a
Pick up the
rough pack 2 here for
Pick up the
Marco.
pack. You have
Yeah,
10
it's
seconds.
weird because he's, you know, playables wise, no problem.
Yeah,
It's not like
it-
he's being cut. You know, sometimes, you know, if you're in the same creature type as a neighbor, it can get
1 second.
ugly, right? Where you're like, am I supposed to be
Draft.
switching at this point? That is not the case.
Shuffle and lay
It
out
does
5
feel
cards to
like
your right.
Merfolk is a fine place to be. But boy, there is
Pick up the pack.
just
You have 10
nothing
seconds.
coming for him to get excited about.
Yeah, I mean, this is the issue, right? He's got
5
playables.
seconds.
The problem with Marco's deck is his 10th best card is going to be as good as his 23rd best
Drafts.
card, right?
Shuffle
There's
and
just
lay out
not a
4
big
cards.
gap
Maybe
in
as good
power
as
level.
his third best.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
Just
Pack, you have
no.
5 seconds.
You know, I wonder, Paul, we talk about these Pro Tour drafts being scrappy sometimes, right? Like everybody
Drafts.
knows what they're doing.
Right.
You,
Shuffle and lay
you
out 3
rarely
cards
get that
to your
seat
right.
where it just all flows and you just kind of go, how did this happen? That's
Pick up the pack.
very
You have
rare
5 seconds.
as people really know what they're doing. But is this deck still too low power
Draft.
level, even in that scrappy environment?
Shuffle
Just
and lay
being
out the
kind
last
of
two
common
cards.
base.
So far, it
Pick up the pack. You have
seems to
5
be that
seconds.
way.
Pass the last card.
Glamour might.
Pick up and look at the
This
last
is going to be the
card. Add to your
last
pile.
relevant pick here in pack number 2. Now,
do the
remember,
next
we've still
review
got another
period.
pack
You
to
have
go. I
90
mean,
seconds.
He got 7-ish playables out of this pack.
okay. So he's
Okay.
right on target.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some interaction. He's got a couple of card draw spells. He's got an okay curve. You know, we're trying to find kind of what Marco's path to victory is here. But probably going to have to run some number of those keep outs, possibly a Glamour Might even, which is not necessarily where you want to be.
Yeah, what we normally see with lists like this is that they concentrate heavily on their curve, and they try to just put creatures on the battlefield and back them up with removal and combat tricks, because this deck just can't rely on, well, if the game goes really long, I'm going to win. It's like, no, your cards are not going to stack up against the average deck if they have a couple of, eclipsed anything, any of the lords, any of that kind of stuff is just going to run you over. But sometimes people's mana's a little tough. Sometimes their curve didn't come together. And if you can go 2, 3, 4 with a combat trick and a removal spell, sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, and this is kind of why I wanted Marco to at least take one of the 2 Sneaklings that he had an opportunity to take.
Right.
I believe he took a Keep Out over one of them and a Sun-Dappled Celebrant over the other. Especially the pick of taking it over the Keep Out, which I just think is not generally a great card that you want to be playing. There's plenty of other good interactive spells that you can play. And just, sometimes like the disaster scenario is when you just don't have enough 2-drops for your Convoke deck, right? Like
Absolutely.
it's so important to make sure you don't miss a creature drop in this type of deck that relies so heavily on having a board full of creatures.
Remove the wrapper. Ensure you
Okay,
have 14 cards
pack
face
number
down.
3 upcoming here for
Recalling that
Marco.
one is going to be flipped
Can
around.
he salvage this
Please count them
with
on the
a
table.
seat that looks reasonably open for his archetype, and maybe just needs a little bit of luck here?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're in the right color combination, and the cards just aren't opened, right? I mean, pack 2 in pick 2, pack 2, there was just
We are ready to
literally
begin.
nothing for him to
Pick up the
take.
pack.
Right.
You have 40
That was that
seconds.
great.
All right, well, there's his
All right.
favorite, the Celebrant.
Okay.
Shield Bearer,
Nope.
run away together,
This
prideful.
is not what you want on the first pick here.
Rhyme
You need some.
Chill.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, he bricked again.
That-
oh, look at his face. Look at. Do you
is
see that head
yeah,
shake?
I mean, this is another miss. He needs this pack to salvage this draft here. He's probably going to take a 2-drop here. Might just take the Timid Shield Bearer here just because he just needs something for his mana curve.
Yeah, he already has a run away together. Maybe a Rhyme Chill. This is rough.
5 seconds.
He's already got a Celebrant. I think he just needs to prioritize playing a 2-drop here.
Draft.
He likes
Shuffle
the
and lay out
Percher.
13 cards to
Yeah,
your
I
left.
think-
Oh, the last
Have
second he went for the
Shield
Shield Bearer. That's.
Yeah, it's a responsible pick.
I like that pick. I mean, I like that he picked that
You like
card
the
out of this
decision,
pack.
you don't like
Yeah.
the pack.
Holy smokes,
the
he
pack.
just cannot
You have
get
35
anything here.
All right. Oh,
There's a high perfect Morkan coming the other direction
Oh
again.
my goodness. And another Timid Shield Bearer. Is that it? There's a Noggle the
No.
Mind, I
Okay.
suppose. So I think he's a little bit light on removal. So you could consider just taking that. Of course, you can't really play the Kinsbale Aspirant if you're not Kithkin. It's just not something you're happy playing on 3. So it's either going to be the Shield Bearer or the Noggle the Mind. Looks like he's looking to take the Noggle the Mind here.
5 seconds.
And he again gives us a little head shake there. This is
Yeah.
not where he
Draft.
wants to be.
Yeah,
Shuffle
Noggle the
and
Mind is
lay out
fine,
12
but it's
cards to your
certainly
left.
not what you would consider a premium removal spell.
We've seen some drafts that have gone seriously wrong. This is not that.
No,
Right,
you're,
so
you're
we're-
going to have
You have
a
30
deck of
seconds.
enough playables.
Right.
It's just currently mostly commons.
Yeah, mostly just feels like you're in the right seat and just not getting anything.
All right, so there's a Glamour Gifter, fine flyer, good combat trick. I think you're going to be reasonably happy here. I don't know that you're going to take the Shore Lurker right now. I think just having more cheap things to do and having some tricks is good here. And he doesn't even have any Merfolk
5
Lords,
seconds.
right? It's not like creature-type Merfolk right now even matters.
Right.
By the way, Moon Vigil Adherence as well
Draft.
being passed.
I know.
Shuffle
I keep
and
seeing
lay out
all
7
these elf
to
cards
your
go
left.
by.
Jeez.
bunch of eulogists and grave shifters and gloom rippers and whoever
Again-
decided, you know, I'll do elves.
Again, I
back.
think the
You have
only other
25
lane Marco
seconds.
could have considered, I don't think he should have been elves, but I do think Selesnya was something that he could have considered considering there was a fifth pick assert perfection.
There's a gift.
Okay.
Finally, something went
He
right.
needed- I mean, this is the best card in his deck, and he got it pick 4, pack 3 with the head shake. He's like, all right, that's what I'm talking about. I have a chance, right?
5
I have.
seconds.
If I get a decent mana curve and I play this deep channel duelist, maybe we can make something happen.
Draft. Shuffle and lay out 10
Finally.
cards.
And
to
by
your
the way,
left.
that does show at least some evidence that he's in a decent color pair for his seed and that maybe he just,
All right.
the
Well,
pack.
I mean, if
You
you're
have
getting that
25
4th pick, why
seconds.
don't you just get another one fifth?
yeah. How about a Eclipse Marrow or something?
Okay, there's Hallowed Fountain.
Ooh, Omni Changeling.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Look, this is your path to victory. You play a deep channel duelist, and
Make
then you,
another
and then
one.
you copy it. There you go.
I like that, Paul.
Okay. I mean, this pack 3 is
5 seconds.
Go-
These
Going
were
kind-
his 2 best cards?
yeah, right. Deep
Like,
channel
of the
his
draft?
4th and 5th pick in
Draft.
pack number 3 are his 2
Shuffle
best
and lay out
cards.
9 cards to your left.
All right, Ken.
Still some hope.
We still have 3 more
up the
picks to
pack.
go.
You
Can
have
we
20
pick some
seconds.
important merfolk for this deck? Okay.
Gravelgill Scoundrel's a
Scoundrel, sure.
solid 2.
Oh!
Oh, Silvergill Mentor now.
Okay, okay.
That's 3 in a row.
Yeah, there's also a Pestered Wellguard, but I do think the
5
Silvergill
seconds.
Mentor is significantly better. Marco already has 3 or 4 Convoke cards in his deck, and this card's
Draft.
perfect for that.
That's right.
Shuffle
Wow,
and lay out
okay.
8 cards to your left.
Feeling a little bit better about this
Yeah.
for Marco.
Yeah, Marco
right?
says, so you're telling me I got a chance.
3 solid uncommons
pack,
in
you
a
have
row
20
here for
seconds.
Marco.
Maybe another?
Another one, something? Okay.
Blossom Bind.
Hey,
So
I mean, interaction, right? That is a
Yeah.
removal spell.
it's fine.
So, you know, at this point, getting a Blossom Bind 7th pick, that's about right. You're happy
5
with that.
seconds.
Definitely. And he probably had at least one more slot for a removal spell, and this
Right.
is a good one. So
Shuffle and lay out 7 cards to your left.
Yeah, now maybe
So
just
one
like
more
a,
card?
like a Wander Brine
You have
Preacher at this
15
point,
seconds.
if you want to be reasonable.
oh come on,
Gravel
can I
Gill
ask for
Scoundrel?
more than that?
Well, we did put 2 Silver Gill Mentors on the graphic.
Yeah, we
So-
did. But unfortunately,
But not-
this was the last chance to get one
It's the
here for
Vaulter here.
Marco, and
It's
it's just
definitely
going
the
to be a tributary vaulter.
Yeah, I don't think you want the second
Draft.
Thirst for Identity here.
Yeah, and not
Shuffle
much
lay out
coming
6
back on the
cards to your
wheel.
left.
Right.
Like, there's nothing.
He didn't take anything good the first time. So
Right.
you're just not going to wheel anything.
Right.
Pick up the pack. You have 10 seconds.
So this looks like, you know, 7 or 8 playables out of
Yeah.
each pack, just sort of
Right.
scrape over the line.
Yeah, sure.
That would be a second runaway together.
Draft.
He was pretty high on the
Shuffle and lay
Sundapple
out
Celebrant
5 cards
previously,
to your
but
left.
actually going for the runaway together. There have been a lot of enchantment-based removals in the removal
the
spells
pack,
in this
you have 10
draft,
seconds.
and these bounce effects are really, really effective
Mm.
in this kind of best of 3 setting.
That's right. You can bring them in out of the
5
sideboard if that's the matchup where they're really good. Summit Sentinel, Kinsbale, Aspirin.
Is he
yeah.
considering hate drafting here?
Shuffle and lay out
Guess
4
so.
cards to
Yeah.
your left.
Okay.
Pick up the pack. You have 5 seconds.
All right,
So did
there's
this
the
pack
lurker.
save him? I mean, that was a nice run of those 3
Draft.
uncommons. They ended up
Shuffle
being the
and lay
best
out
cards
3
in his
cards
deck,
to your
but
left.
was it enough?
I don't think it was
Pick up
enough,
the
but
pack.
I think
You have
I went
5
from
seconds.
thinking this deck was going to be perhaps an 0-3-1-2 deck
Mm-hmm.
to now,
Draft.
with the right draws, especially
Pass
with the Lord
pass
that
2
he picked
cards.
up,
Pick up
maybe
the
there's a
pack.
shot
You
at
have 5
picking up 2.
seconds.
Okay. Of course, it's
Draft. Pass the last card and look at it.
these decks are graded on a
At
curve.
this point, the draft
course,
is over.
yes.
Brilliant.
And we don't
I have a few
know what the
announcements.
other players at the
First,
table,
please
what their
face
decks
down,
look
count
like.
that you have
If there's a
42
bunch
cards.
of, you know, rough mana, or maybe somebody changed their mind late, then, you know, a deck like this can actually be pretty good, right? His deck is very functional. The curve, the mana, like everything looks good as far as that goes. It just doesn't have a very high power level.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's probably a very powerful elf deck somewhere in that draft, right?
There better be.
We saw the High Perfect Morcant here, but let's take a look at Marco's list here. I mean, couple of Marrow Sky Swimmers. You got a ton of Merfolk. You have the Deep Channel Duelist. This looks like a pretty nice curve here. You have interaction. Actually, when you lay it out this way,
Not bad.
It looks totally fine.
Yeah,
it looks fine.
it checks the box on everything. You can see he's also on 16 lands here. Also, we'll note that the Celebrim did not make the cut.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think he would have probably played the Sneakling here in his deck, but oh, there's a Glamour Might in there. That one's a little bit interesting here. He just wanted maybe a little bit of evasion. But yeah, I mean, this is just looks like a blue-white Merfolk deck with kind of the primary win condition to just kind of fly over for the win.
That's right. Well, we'll see how Marco did, because we are going to take a short break here from Richmond. When we come back, we will have round number 9, Belacca versus Matsura. Don't go anywhere.